Good morning. It is Thursday, the 10th of July. I'm still alive, but as I said, I don't feel well at all, and I'm going to be laying back down in a little bit and resting throughout the day. Mike Stories, he's talking about, let me go back here a little bit. And I'll tell you how I came about Joel Osteen and where people get him wrong. Joel Osteen, as far as I'm concerned, is a positive mental attitude dude. And he uses Christianity to present that. Norman Vincent Peale, Art Linkletter, I can't think of some of the others, but, when you're trying to get let me explain something about Elevation Church with Stephen Furtick. Stephen Furtick is not a positive mental attitude dude at all. But, like I said, there's a lot of channels now copying Not the Good Girl, talking about Christianity, guys making a lot of money off of it. Is it right? Is it wrong? And it's a debatable thing. I can say, why not? Why can't a guy that is into Christianity, preaches the word, to become rich from it? I mean, we live in America. We have capitalism. And what's the game? The game for all of us to hope to be just like Donald Trump, a billionaire. That's what we're all hoping. And Mike Stories did pretty well. He posted this 21 hours ago and has gotten 251,680 views. Let's hear this, and I don't feel well today at all, guys. But my microwave comes tomorrow.
By the end of the year. Today, we're taking a look at the most hated pastors in the world, why they're hated, and whether they actually deserve the hate. Progressing to who I think is the most hated pastor in the world.
John, show that reverse shot.
That's Joel Osteen.
That's a great shot. That's it's saying a lot. Just saying, what, there's a lot of people there. It gives me credibility when I speak, and so those things are important to me. So we choose the right angles and stuff like that, just to, whatever we can do to get the message across. I think when somebody flips by that, they think, well, he's got a lot of people there. Maybe he's got something to say.
Joel Osteen is the pastor of Lakewood Church, one of the largest megachurches in the entire
world. It is
world.
huge.
He's become a household name with his upbeat, motivational talks and polished media presence.
I heard a
That's
sermon.
my point. Motivational talks. Joel Osteen's a little different being a pastor than Stephen Furtick is. Okay. And the fact remains is I've adored Joel Osteen. Back, gosh, I don't know when I started. I've got one of his books and have read it. I loved it. So, Joel Osteen's a totally different type of pastor. Totally different. Stephen Furtick is more of a charismatic type preacher. And, is it wrong that he built a mansion and bringing in all this money? I think, was it him that I saw? I don't know. Somebody net worth was like $60 million. Now, for me, I'm going to be laying back down and resting throughout the day. That's my life. But Joel Osteen, I always liked him. I've always gotten something out of his message. It made me feel positive, made me feel uplifting. And yeah, Joel Osteen's doing real well. But these guys like Mike Stories and not the good girl or something. What you don't understand is the fact that Stephen Furtick and all the rest of these guys, Joel Osteen, they worked hard to get where they got. They did. Just like Mike Stories is doing. Is he not working hard to try to get, he even claims he wants to get 700 subscribers. you know. And the fact remains is that I've always really enjoyed Joel Osteen. I used to watch him all the time on TV. This is years ago. This was when I don't remember. I think I was married to my crazy ex-wife, and I was in. Let me explain something. When I was doing, going into Costco's and Sam's Clubs, and trying to talk people into signing up for estimates for sales reps. Now, when I first started doing that, I was making good money. The problem is that the sales representatives get pissed off. You know, they're going, these guys aren't the ones going out, sitting down, selling the product. They're just getting us leads. What they didn't understand is that I would warm that lead up so well for them, that was an easy sell, and that was my job. The problem is when you're in a Sam's Club and you've worked for 3 or 4 hours and haven't even gotten one lead written, that's when Joel Osteen's message starts popping in my head. You know, Joel Osteen was great at being able to motivate me and to keep me going with my career. Now, like I said, I'm going to be laying down in a little bit. I don't feel good at all today, period. I did put on a site that my health is failing me, and it is. My health is failing me. I have serious digestive intestinal problems, gastrointestinal problems. I don't see any way out of this at all. It takes all the energy out of me completely. But enough of my problems. Let's finish this up.
Preached probably 2012 on the power of I am. And that sermon literally changed how I spoke power into my own life.
I want to talk to you today about the power of I am. What follows these two simple words will determine what kind of life you live. I am blessed. I am strong. I am healthy.
But outside his fan base, he's hated for becoming extremely wealthy through the kind of message he preaches, living in a mansion worth over $10 million, and selling what are basically self-help new agey books to millions.
Do you know how much you're worth?
I never dwell on it. I never even dwell on it. But
Can we dwell on it now?
I wouldn't know the figures.
I mean, look at you.
Okay, my question. Oh, gosh, I'm doing bad, guys. My question is, you know, why should you ask someone that question? When's the last time somebody has said, Trump, how did you get that money that you've got? You know, and like I said, I mean, you can, I really don't like the people that were not congruent and in their messages. You know, Jimmy Swaggart, Kenneth Copeland, some of these guys that were basically making tons and tons of money. And to me, I don't know, I didn't like the way they were doing it. But I'm going to finish this up. I'm going to lay back down and rest, guys. I'm not doing well today at all. Peace.